Thanks to the support as a channel member. Why so serious? Well, here we go then, boys and girls. Just about 50 episodes into the series as a whole, and we are about to make our Premier League debut with a sort of new look side off the back of yesterday's transfer special. There's probably still going to be more transfers today if we can find some secret money from somewhere. Hello and welcome to Club 2, part 25 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have our first games ever in the Premier League, both in terms of the series and Peterborough United Football Club. We're away against West Ham, at home against Leeds. I don't want to tempt fate, but I'm looking at our start to life in the Premier League. West Ham, Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth, Fulham, Norwich. I've got to believe if we've got any chance at all of staying up, we need 12, 15 points out of these first 6 games. 15 is probably not doable, but somewhere in the 10 to 12 points range from these 6, because it then does get hard. Man United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Leicester. We do then get a nice spell again, and then a really hard spell again. It's coming in waves, boys and girls, but we can use our promotion momentum in these first 6. They are going to be crucial. Let's say we need 10 points from these first 6 games. That's the goal. So if we can win twice now, that gets us most of the way there. If you missed the transfer special yesterday, I urge you to go back and watch it. But these are the transfers that we did as a little quick look. And we also snuck a few in towards the end of the season as well. So we didn't actually spend as little as it appears. There's that 13 million plus the, another 12. So we spent about 25 million pounds roughly on building a squad that we hope is going to be good enough to keep us up. And this is the team we're going to put out there for our first ever Premier League game away against West Ham. We're going with Jääskeläinen in goal, a back four of new boys Williams and Doyle, alongside old hands Suleiman and Lopez, new boy Berat behind old hands Taylor and Wassell, and then old hand, I don't know why I'm doing this, Jones, supported by new boys Odor and Mighton up front. Simon Patton starts from the bench, which I imagine is going to be quite controversial, as does the highest paid player in the history of the football club, Patrick Roberts, and his £60,000 a week salary, and club captain Ross Sykes. This probably isn't going to be the team that we use week in, week out. This is very much an experimental, let's have a look at some of the new boys side and expect to see some of the established lot appear in the team before too long. Maybe, unless this lot are brilliant. Who knows? It's difficult to say. I have no concept of how good we're going to be. We've had a couple of matches against Premier League opposition from in FA Cup runs and whatnot in recent seasons, and we've been generally quite competitive against the poorer Premier League sides. What I don't know is whether West Ham are a good side in this version of the future or a poorer side. So I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna fare in this first game. Leeds, I think, got promoted. Did they get promoted with us? No, they didn't. Villa are the ones who won the league. Leeds must have gone up the year before, maybe. I know they haven't been in there solidly from the start of the game. We've given away a penalty here, which is not a nice start to the Premier League. But unfortunately, with a bunch of defenders who are always going to be a little bit off the pace because they're not as good as the players they're playing against, it is going to be a little bit of a risk. Doyle, not really played much in the way of first-team football over the years during his time at Manchester City. He's still only 21, and he's given away a penalty. I mean, this might even be his Premier League debut. Let's just skip past that, and let's just double-check. Is this Doyle's Premier League debut? Yeah. So he's had time on loan at Blackpool in the Championship. He's had time on loan at Blackpool in the Championship, and 2 years at Derby in the Championship. Multiple year loans don't happen, Kev. All right, I believe you. But he's never actually played a game in the Premier League before, never played for Manchester City. So this is his Premier League debut, and it's not started as well as it might. I imagine there's a lot of players in this team making their Premier League debuts, to be fair. I'm looking at the team. Brandon Williams has probably played Premier League games before. Manchester United, maybe. Yeah, he's had quite a few Premier League games, in fact. The rest of the squad, not so sure. Suleiman, would he have ever played for Villa in the Premier League? No. I don't know that there is anyone else who would have played in the Premier League before. Taylor with the in-swinging corner. and it ends up back with Taylor there. Sullivan on the near post, and he can't divert it goalwards. And one issue we might have with having Sykes on the bench with these two defenders is that neither of these are giants. Ross Sykes, of course, is 6'5", and the two we've got playing at centre back today, I think, are both 6'1" or 6'2". So it is going to be a little bit more difficult to be dominant from set pieces. So even if I decide I prefer Doyle and Sullivan as the centre back partnership, there's an argument to play Sykes anyway, just because of the threat he's going to give us from set pieces. But I guess that's something we'll think about further down the line. Let's point the finger. I don't actually think we've done that badly. We're playing against an established Premier League side, and it's only a penalty separating us. I think Wassell played for... There you go. He's played for Norwich in the Premier League before. See? Easy peasy. Patrick Roberts, of course, will have played in the Premier League. So that would have been an argument for starting Roberts today. Just that less likely to be shell-shocked by the whole thing, like the rest of them might be. Lopez playing it across to Taylor. Taylor back to Doyle. This is nice. Give everyone a nice little touch of the ball early on. Odor then tries to play it forward for the run of Jones, but it's a bit of an ambitious sort of toe poke forward that didn't ever really look like it was going to make it through. I guess if it comes off, he looks like a genius, but it was never going to come off, I don't think. And now West Ham coming down this right-hand side, and Wassell does very well to intercept, but we then needed the save from Jaskalainen as the although Wassell makes a good challenge, no one around him was there to back him up, and it's led to a West Ham corner, which is an outswinger from Alex Tellers playing for West Ham, and Taylor heads clear to Mighton. We've got the chance for a counter-attack here. Mighton is quick. If he can get away from his man, which he has. Ricky J. Jones is in the middle, and I thought he'd been fouled there. He has been fouled there, but no red card. Very sad. I know he's not through on goal, but that was probably one of our most promising attacks of the game so far, if not the most promising one, because Mighton was away there, and it was quite cynical from the West Ham defender just to bring him down, take the yellow card, and just stop the run in its tracks in an area where he wasn't in any danger of getting sent off. West Ham coming at us again here, and I do wonder if that kind of gamesmanship that we just saw there from West Ham is something that we're going to be missing in our little naive first season in the Premier League. What is Jaskalainen doing there? I mean, he's made the save, but he's done it with his foot. You're allowed to use your hands, Will. Oh my word. Tellers with the in-swinger this time, and it's headed clear by Wassell, who does seem to be everywhere. He's having a pretty good game from what I'm seeing. The match rating things would say otherwise. He's no better than anyone else on the pitch, but he just seems to be involved in everything. Let's encourage the boys. I don't want to demand more because we are newly promoted. We don't expect to win today. If we can scrape a draw from somewhere, it'd be spectacular. And Wassell's there again, and this time hits the post. Odor with the cross. It eludes everyone. Jones is there on the far post now, and it plays it back to Doyle. Doyle is the wrong man to have received the ball there. We don't want our centre-back to have the ball on the left wing in a crossing position. And I think it's time for Simon Patton, plus other changes. We've got Patrick Roberts to bring on as well. I think we're probably going to bring them both on. We're going to bring Patton on for Jones up front. The assistant manager's saying Augustine, not a chance. We're going to go with our boy. And Roberts can come on that right-hand side. Berat isn't having a very good game, but we don't have a holding midfielder on the bench to bring on for him. So we'll leave him on. He'll be all right. But we've got Patton on now. We've got Roberts on that right-hand side, and let's see if that can give us the breakthrough. Taylor with the in-swinger and the header from, I'm not sure who that was with the header, but it goes just over. I mean, we've not looked rubbish. We've not really looked like scoring either. Shall we throw another striker on for the final 10 minutes? We've got Augustine there. Berat's not having a very good game. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. What kind of striker does Augustine want to be? He can do anything. He's a man of many talents. Let's make him a deep lying forward then, with Patton playing as the advanced forward, and just have Augustine there linking things up a little bit for us. Let's fire the boys up and see if we can find an equaliser in these last couple of minutes of the game. There's very little time left. It's West Ham with the free kick. There's 4 minutes of time going to be added on here. Jaskalainen collects it relatively comfortably and clears up to Augustine. And we've got a break on here. Augustine turns brilliantly. He is clear. Is he going to have a shot at the tackle? The tackle just takes it off the end of his toe. And I wonder if there might have been a pass on for him there. I was so focused on watching the man himself, I wasn't even tracking what the other players were doing. I feel like he was there on his own and kind of had to try and go for it. But again, we've had our chances today and they're just not quite coming off. But I think there's a lot of positives for us. For our first game in the Premier League, we've only lost by a penalty and we've had opportunities. And on another day, maybe we get the draw. Who knows? Let's hopefully do a little bit better against Leeds. Well, we've had a couple of midfield injuries leading into this game. Wassel is injured, and Escalante probably is the man who would have come in for him. He's injured as well. They're both short-term injuries, but it does mean Zakowski gets a start in the Premier League, having not really played for us in the second half of last season. He only started 21 games for us last year. Does have plenty of Serie A experience, so I guess if we're looking for players with top flight experience in a big league, he probably should have been in from the start. But Zakowski's in, and other than that, it is an unchanged side as we have our first Premier League home game and try and grab 3 points against Leeds. Let's pump the fists. Let's show us what we can do. Something is tickling my nose. I've been rubbing at my nose the whole episode. Feels like there's a hair tickling it. Is there something on my microphone? I don't know what's going on here. I'm just saying, I'm not wiping my nose. It's tickling, and I don't know what's tickling it, and it's very much upsetting me. But hopefully, now I've said it, if it's like a ghost tickling my nose to mess with me, I'm on to you, ghost. Stop doing it. I thought we were going to give away another penalty there. That's not how we want our first season in the Premier League to be, just constantly giving away penalties because we're a bit sloppy and slow at the back. Zakowski nods it back to Odor from the header. That's lovely play there to get around his man and get the crossover. Shame it eluded Jones, but it's with Lopez looking across it back over again. Zakowski's lurking, and it's with Berat on the edge of the area. Tries to slot it through to Taylor. It's the right idea, but Taylor couldn't just get the right side of his player to get onto it, but Lopez does very well to win the ball back for us. We've started brightly here. Berat with the ball over the top. Mighten is in behind and really should be squaring that to Ricky J. Jones, who's lurking in the middle. The ghost's still here. He's lurking in the middle, and Mighten should be squaring that rather than going for glory himself. I don't mind us being fancy when the situation is appropriate. Mighten's picked up a knock. Right, that's my assistant manager's recommending a debut for De Frutos rather than bringing on Patton. I'm not entirely sure I agree. I think De Frutos is a left winger. We'll have a look at him though. Maybe he can play on the right. I hope he can. Right, we'll have a look at him now. So De Frutos is... Oh, he can play both sides. Okay. Oh, he's actually right-footed. Okay. Let's bring him on then. Have a look at him. Mighten with the knock. And we are 1-0 down. And at the moment, it feels like it's going to be a long, hard season. Remember, we have got the battle bravely against relegation club vision thing going on. So if we do get relegated, I shouldn't get sacked. There's always the opportunity another club will come in for me as well. If we look like we're doing all right. I mean, I've done back-to-back promotion, well, not back-to-back, but I've done double promotions to get us here. I'd like to think I'm highly thought of, but similar to how we were at Kettering, I've not had a single job interview offer from any clubs. I'm not applying for any because realism mode, I wouldn't in real life. I'm happy at Peterborough. We're playing in the Premier League and I'm the manager who brought us here. So I'm having a lovely time. However, if we keep getting battered, that could get old quickly. But ultimately, if no one offers me a job, we haven't gone crazy this summer. We've very much stuck within our budgets. We've not done anything on the Never Never. We're apparently getting about £90 million off of TV money. So even though we've spent 25-30 million pounds on players, we should end the season with a big pile of cash. So if we do get relegated, we'll have the pile of cash. We'll have a much better squad than we had last year, and we'll have a parachute payment, and we should come straight back up looking even stronger. It's something I've had to do in the past when I've got particularly weak teams into the Premier League. You sometimes go back down. It's a long time since I've been relegated on YouTube, but this might be the season because we're struggling a little bit. Solomon is the first man to score a Premier League goal for us, and of course it's from a set piece because that's what we do. I'm a little bit worried about Ricky J. Jones, who hasn't really looked with it at all in these first two games, so maybe it's time for him to go back out onto the left wing and try Patton up front for a game or two, because Jones just... Someone in the comments a few days ago asked me if I thought he might be like a Dwight Gale, another former Peterborough striker, as in dominant, all-conquering hero in the Championship, who'll get you 30 goals in the Championship whenever you ask him to, but put him in the Premier League and he doesn't know what a goal is. And, I mean, I don't want to judge him too soon. He's still a young player, but he's not started brightly, has he? Let's try and avenge what happened last time. What are we going to do to try and get back into this game? There's nothing we can do, really. We've got our... I won't say we've got our best players on the pitch, but we've got a number of new players. We're trying a system we know works. We're just not as good as the opposition. And I think there's going to be a lot of times this season where we just have to accept that. And the worrying thing is, like I said at the start of the video, we've been given a very generous start to the season. And if we lose these games, my word, are we going to lose the bigger games that come after this run? And then it really does start to look like we've got a really horrible time ahead of us. Right, we've got a throw here. It's Williams to take. Finds De Frutos. He's trying to work his way into the area. Finds Taylor in space. Taylor should have done a little bit better with that. But Ricky J. Jones has got to tap in. And that might just be the goal that gets his season up and running, because he's in the right place at the right time. It's the easiest goal he'll score all year. But maybe that gives him the confidence now. He's a Premier League goal scorer. Let's see if he can now play with a little bit more. Look, he was sad before. Be happy, Ricky. You've scored. He's still not happy. What have I got to do to cheer that boy up? It's 3-2. And if we can find an equaliser here, in the circumstances, we're happy with a draw. Although Leeds are in again here. Jaskalainen makes a save. And I do wonder, with a couple of weeks of transfer window left, perhaps we need a goalkeeper. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I need to go out and spend 300 million and rebuild the entire squad. But that was never going to be an option. Right, De Frutos down the right-hand side. Can he find the cross? Cuts it back beautifully to Zakowski. That is a lovely, lovely goal. Brilliant play from De Frutos and a very tidy finish from Zakowski. And it's 3-3 with 25 minutes of this game left. I tell you what, De Frutos looks like a hero already, because that is such an intelligent ball across goal. Not just drilling a crossover, not just hitting it aimlessly. He's picked out a man in space and he's done it brilliantly. It's 3-3. We've got a free kick here. We could go ahead. It's Odor to take. Shoots from range. Jones is in again, but couldn't quite get there quickly enough to get the shot away. He could have had a second tap in there. And there's question marks about whether this ball maybe crossed the line from the free kick. The shadow certainly did. Do we get a shadow goal? I'll take a shadow goal. Right, we are all of a sudden playing with some oomph. Odor is tired, so let's bring on Patton for him. Get Patton up front, get Jones out onto the left where we know he can be dangerous. And we've got Patrick Roberts as well. Why didn't I bring him on before? I forgot he existed, because he's there as the goalkeeper. I forgot he existed. He absolutely should have come on. I mean, to be fair, De Frutos has come on and done well, but Roberts is probably the one who should have come on. We might even bring him on behind Patton, play him in there, because I know he can do that. We might do that for the final 10 minutes just to... And in fact, there you go. It's recommending I do exactly that. And Berak can play further forward, can't he? He can. So we are going to make that exact change and go to a more attacking system. And we're going to switch to this. And we're going to put Roberts in there. And he needs to be a winger. And we are going to spend the last 10 minutes of the game showing a little bit of ambition, trying to win a football match, because 3 points would be huge for us if we could find a way to grab them out of this game. It's Leeds with the goal kick. De Frutos nodded it down. Patton was there, but the Leeds player was there ever so slightly ahead of him, and now it is Leeds coming at us again, and we need to get a tackle in here. Obviously, no longer with the protection of a defensive midfielder in front of the back four, and I wouldn't say that that's what's cost us, but maybe we need to remember every point is precious, and we perhaps should have dug in and taken the 1 point rather than going for the 3. I'm always going to be the kind of manager who gambles in that situation, though. I'm never going to go, oh, yeah, let's take a point at home. I'm always going to look for 3. It's just whether or not we're good enough this year for that gamble to pay off in the long run. It's certainly not paid off today. And we've lost our first 2 games of the season. Oh, I see. Going to be one of those seasons. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.